I've always loved words. Their power and nuance make them incredibly versatile tools of expression. Take the word black, for example. In a dictionary, it is simply the absence of visual light. In my mind, it is a part of my identity.
I turned around to see my classmate pulling his eyes towards his ears and some kids around him red-faced from laughter.
I heard some of my friends say she could have brought the bubonic plague here from India. People called her names, excluded her, claimed she was deviant. I looked at her and saw something similar to what I saw in the mirror. The same dark hair, the darker hue of skin. Did people think I was deviant too?
Many students struggle to come to terms with their identities.
I want people to stop discriminating against immigrants because they appear different than us.
Yes, I am Nepali. Yes, we eat food with our hands. Yes, I will talk about my culture and heritage because I am proud of it.
Yes, I am black and white. Yes, I have puffy dark hair. Yes, I am still proud of who I am. I am different, but different is good.
We were the children of Chinese immigrants. Socializing and making new friends wasn't our forte. And to top it off, my brother had special needs.
I had no trouble accepting my diagnosis. Autism was just a word, and I was still the same person. This was not how others perceived it.
I witnessed my classmates thinking it's funny if they describe someone acting crazy as looking autistic.
People tend not to get involved because it's not their problem. But if they were in a similar situation, wouldn't they want someone's help?
A new family moved into the neighborhood, and it didn't take long for us to meet. The girl was developmentally delayed and expressed being lonely. She had no friends. I started to witness how cruel the kids were to her.
I told my mom, the bus driver, whoever I could, to make these kids leave her alone.
I watch on the news and in public places how people with special needs are mistreated.
Born deaf, I went to an elementary school that specialized in services for kids with a disability or some type of hearing loss. However, there was a separate part of the school where students without disabilities would learn. Once I was mainstream, I was treated differently. Kids wouldn't sit next to me in class or play with me at recess. Why was I being discriminated against for something out of my control?
When I was at recess one day, all of my friends were bullying and throwing balls at another peer due to his weight.
Around the time I entered 5th grade, I was visibly overweight. It was also the time that the bullying started.
The boys were always shoving him to the ground, throwing balls at him, then laughing hysterically.
I felt that I was all alone in the world. Nobody would associate themselves with me anymore. I started getting phone calls from restricted numbers telling me to kill myself.
I decided to take action. I told them people should be different.
I would like to ask each and every one of you, if you see something like this happening to anyone, anywhere, take a second, go up to them, and ask them how they are, with a smile.
My hope is for people to hear this.
I began to be bullied because my mom is an addict. I would show up at school with greasy hair, dirty clothes on, smelling like cigarette smoke, and embarrassed. There were times my mom got arrested on school campus with many of my classmates watching. Some of the things this girl would say to me were like, "Kill yourself," and "You don't deserve to be alive."
Why should we be judged for something, especially if we cannot change it?
I joined the swim team as an escape. I made so many friends and loved what I was doing so much that all my problems became endurable.
I reached the realization that writing could be an outlet for other abused souls. That's when I helped organize a poetry club that provided a safe space for my LGBTQ+ peers. We spread support and love. As the club grew, so did the strength in our voices.
If the world stopped seeing differences and started appreciating the similarities, there would be a lot less hate in the world today.
Growing up in a Jewish family, I learned about giving tzedakah, donations. Once I grew older, I began to learn about the Holocaust. I struggled with this time period's horrible events, but was comforted that anti-Semitism is no longer as prevalent. I later began reading about the shooting, the 11 victims.
I could not believe that Jews in the neighboring state were killed just for their religion.
Minutes before lying in the backseat of a police car, unconscious, my uncle was frisked and choked by 2 local police officers for seeming suspicious outside of his neighborhood's mini-mart. He died before reaching the hospital. A man's heartbreaking transition from idolized Army veteran to insignificant statistic.
People who look like me are more than the negative images perpetuated by the media.
I intend to learn about other religions and cultures, so I can overcome internal prejudices I may unknowingly have.
Every ethnicity is beautiful.
A change in one person's perspective is a change in everything.
I work to overcome difficulties my diagnosis creates for me and strive to not let it become my only defining characteristic.
In response to these feelings, I wanted to establish a solution. What I came up with is not only practical, but tragically overlooked. Cordial communication.
With understanding and the right words, we can become agents of positive change.
Words are powerful. They have endlessly destructive potential. So when they're thrown around with such ignorance, it's up to those of us who use our voice to stop the damage and to stop the hate.